have the UK, guys, after the worst terrorist attack since Southport. Our favourite Muslim friends rioting in London, in Glasgow, in Manchester, literally a few hours, and even a few hundred metres from the event. They don't give a damn, they don't care. These are the people. And it's obviously been bolstered by the media, such as the BBC, who came out immediately and said, now it was obvious what it was, far right, right?
Increase in language that we've seen recently linked to the far right hasn't been particularly Jewish focused, and in fact some people on the hard right in the UK are quite closely aligned with some Jewish groups, but there are still neo-Nazi groups operating.
Don't worry, not to be undone, the even more left-wing freak Sky News labelled it at the mosque. You know, it was shooting at a mosque. Just watch this.
This is the holiest day, as you say, in the Jewish calendar, Yom Kippur, and a lot of people would have been worshipping at that mosque at the time. I haven't been able to speak to anyone directly, but looking around, there's a lot of extremely concerned people around here. Obviously, worshippers from the mosque. There are crowds on the street just outside this cordon.
But on the good news, I have to say, unlike Southport, they didn't call it the Welsh schoolboy. That thing obviously blew up in their faces, so they did immediately come out and say who it was. Jihad is his name. I mean, you've got to see his Instagram page with an AK-47 there. I mean, somehow not on the terrorist watch list. His name is Jihad. That is his, but remember that means peace, according to the BBC and the Metropolitan Police. It's some thinking of peace when it actually means holy war. That is his name. So this Jihad, the police did come out straight away and confirm it was a Muslim. After Shabina Mahmood said, oh, we need to investigate. She was doing the old Southport tricks. Oh, we need to investigate. Dude, it's a Muslim with a beard. There's no investigating that you need to do. So yeah, that's what happened over there. Now, these mental protests happened because of the flotilla, the Greta's flotilla, you know, to bring aid to Gaza. Let's see what was on those boats.
I'm sure you guys can guess where I am because it's pretty much an empty room. That's right, I'm inside one of the vessels, one of the largest vessels to come in this Yom Kippur flotilla. And while we're processing this boat, there's one thing missing, guys. All this aid that they were supposed to bring into Gaza, which explains one thing to me, I'm sure it explains to you, that when we and multiple other countries offered them to take this aid and bring it to the Gazans, we could facilitate its safe arrival, they flat out rejected it. And now we know why, because it was never about bringing aid to Gazans, but it was all about the headlines and the social media followings.
So basically the UK is cooked. The UK, Europe is cooked, and it's not most people's fault. This is what a direct result of importing millions and millions of Muslims. It's only going to get worse due to the birth rate and the continuing immigration. And, you know, as Patrick Christys on GB News said, the Jews are simply the canary in the coal mine. It starts with the Jews, then it goes to the churches. Go look at France, beheading of priests, firebombing of churches. This is regular, by the way, in France. Yeah, it just moves to the next one. All covered up, all hushed up, all totally covered, not a word by anyone. And obviously you had Southport, where they murdered just two random, just children. And remember, this is one terrorist attack, a Muslim terrorist attack followed by a Muslim terrorist attack followed by a Muslim terrorist attack. But no one is allowed to connect the dot, which is every terrorist attack is Muslim. No one is allowed to say that. Every terrorist attack around the world is Muslim. Can we just make that clear? So the issue isn't terrorism, it's Islam. You take out Islam, look at Poland, no terrorist attacks, not one. Look at Hungary, wow, no terrorist attacks. I wonder why. The issue isn't anti-terrorism or learning or tracking, or it is Islam. Do you not get that? We have to make that freaking clear to people. It is Islam, it is coming for you, it is destroying your country. It is destroying all the countries. The UK 20 years ago, this would never have happened, right? Okay, we did have 7/7 with that, as I said, 20 years ago. This never would have happened. This is madness. This is madness. And obviously the synagogues will now have to have the armed guards, like Europe. You'll have to have the things with the armed guards. Will it help? Probably not. This is where we're going. And wasting more resources, more armed guards, more armed police for what? Just to protect you from Islam, when you could just kick it out and that would solve the problem. I'm all for Muslims in Muslim countries. I'm fine. I have no problem with Muslims being in Egypt and Saudi Arabia. Great, they're your countries. It's probably a great cultural experience. I've visited them. They're great. It's fine. Morocco is very, very lovely, I have to say. But they're not in the UK. They're not in. And again, I have no problem again with a certain minority. You want to be under 1 million in any country, you're fine. You're distilled. You have your own. It's a nice little area like a Chinatown. You have a Muslim town. It's fine. Under 1 million, no one has a problem in all the countries. They're fine. It's when Muslims become more than 3%, more than 6%, and in the UK it's more than 10%, let's be fair, then you're finished. You're cooked. You're cooked. It's over. Once they're more than 10%, they're now a voting bloc. That's why Steinmeier recognized Fakestein. You know, he recognizes a man as a woman, so he also recognizes a fake state called Palestine with no borders and no nothing. No, they're not even one people. They're two different peoples. One is Jordanian, one is Egyptian. Yeah, so fake people, fake genders, fake net zero. They're just a fake party is the woke. And they're the ones backing the Muslims who are definitely not fake. As we saw, they really believe. And this is what the direct result is. Disgusting, really disgusting.